YouTube, this is Site19 coming with you with another deck profile for standard Aquaforce Nevalgazer. You heard right, this is a Nevalgazer deck. We haven't seen Nevalgazer since the trial deck. He was the boss monster in the Aquaforce trial deck. He's fallen off quite a long way since all the new Revon and Maelstrom support has come out and things like that. But I thought, why not build a standard one with all the new stuff in it? Because not to say nothing, that he is still a good, very good Vanguard, especially for a good deck for beginners to get into. So we're gonna start as we always do with the grade 0 starter. And since he is a dragon, we're gonna go with Bubble Blow Draco Kid. He does have the all V starter skill when rolled upon draw card. I did not get the errata version, but all the starters do have the errata that if you ride to grade 1 and your opponent's already on grade 1, you get the shield ticket. So let's keep that in mind. Alright, to the grade 3s. We're playing 4 copies of Nevalgazer Dragon. Very simple skill. When he attacks, if it's the third battle or more, counterblast 1, restand a rear guard, and he gains plus 10k. Very simple, but very strong and very useful, and you'll see why later in the deck profile. Our backup grade 3 is I play 3 copies of Sharp Split Dragon. I would bump him up to 4, but I don't have a 4th copy, so right now what I'm running alongside of him is the Blout Bomber Dragon. For Blout Bomber Dragon's skill is that if your opponent drive checks a trigger and gains 10k, you can retire him and have your opponent's Vanguard lose 10k, so it's like that trigger never happened. It's a very good tech card, but I'd rather go 4 copies of Split Dragon for the simple fact that on Vanguard or rear guard, when he attacks, you get to rest 2 rear guards and then retire one of your opponent's rear guards, and you'll see why that skill that skill is very important. I only play 8 grade 3s in this deck. Shocking, I know. For our grade 2s, of course, you know that we're playing Nevalgazer. We're playing 4 copies of Marine General of Restless Tides Algos. Algos has 2 abilities. On the Vanguard Circle, if he is a second battle or more, you can counterblast, soul blast 1 to stand one of your other rear guards. Similar to Nevalgazer. But then he has his other skill when he is the rear guard. If he is the first battle of turn or more, if he's the first battle, not turn or more, just if he's the first battle, you can counterblast 1 and restand himself. Only downside of this, he doesn't gain any extra power. It would be better if he gained like 5k, but he doesn't. Our second grade 2 that we play is Marine General of Headseas Thaddeus. Thaddeus skill is similar to split skill. Once per turn, you can rest a rear guard and he gains 5k. So you can see how this deck is split right down the middle between Nevalgazer skills and split skills. Very simple, but he ties into another card. That's why that's why he's in the deck. For our last grade 3, we're playing Shotgun Assault. Just to get that middle ground of the third battle or more, you can Soul Blast 1 and he'll gain 8k. So he's a good beat stick, and he makes good numbers when you pair him up with other cards that are coming up. I only play 10 grade 2s in this deck. And the reason for that is because I play a lot of grade 1s, because a lot of the grade 1s in the deck are really what pushes this deck forward. You'll see why in a minute. I play 4 copies of Battle Siren Narcia. Narcia's skill says whenever she is rested by another rear guard on your side of the field, you can Soul Blast 1 and she gains 10k. And this is not once per turn. So you can use Thaddeus' skill, Split skill, to rest her multiple times, and she will always restand back up due to her own skill with an additional plus 10k. So this card can stack. And if you had multiple Thaddeus or splits on the field, she can hit very high numbers just by herself. She can be at least a 38k attacker or 38k booster just by herself. And then she has an additional skill. If you have four or more other rested rear guards, you can put her to the soul to draw one. This is how you replenish your soul. The only other card that can do that in Aquaforce will be Kamasalt. Not Kamasalt. Dang, what's his name? Is it Kamasalt? No, it's not. I forgot his name. You know what it is. Put it down in the chat down below if you remember the name, because it's slipping my mind right now. But it's 4 more other rested units. It gains 15k. If you attack 4 or more times, put his card into the soul and draw a card. Those two cards work very well together. But since this is a budget deck and that grade 2 is quite a bit of money, we're gonna go with Nasia. Our other grade 1 that we play right now is Frontal Sailor. Now, her skill works very well with Nevalgazer because her skill is very simple. Whenever she stands in the front row, she gains 10k. And Nevalgazer can stand 1 unit due to his skill. But in addition to that, if she's on your field for multiple turns, and she's on your field for at the next turn that you played her, when she stands during your stand phase, she'll also gain that 10k. So, let's say you play her during your first grade 3 turn. She'll stand again for 17, but when it's your next turn and she's still on your field, she'll stand again for 27k. So keep that in mind. She's always going to be a 27k unit unless we get more units that allow you to re-stand cards later. We also play 3 copies of Storm Rider Nicholas. He's just your algo searcher. That's why I only play him at 3, but he's also a 11k booster or attacker. Because even if you don't find the algos, he still gains that extra +3. So that's why I kept him at 3, just so he's not a really prominent card. He's just so you can find your grade 2 ride if you don't already have it in your hand. And as always, because this is a budget deck, we play 4 copies of Blue Ward Commander. Blue Ward Command. It's our drop and draw Aquaforce PG grade 1. Very simple. Sentinel skill. Other skill is 1 place on the Vanguard. Draw an additional card and discard a card. Very simple. That's it for the main. It's not for the main deck. Our trigger lineup. We're doing 4 front, 4 heal, 4 crit. And 4 draw. Now this is what we call going rainbow, because you're playing each of the 4 different types of triggers. The reason why we do this is because we want a decent spread. Just because we have 2 different factions in this deck. We have the restanding rear guards and then the restanding of the rear guards and then the resting of the rear guards. So we want a decent spread of crits and fronts. The only thing that I could say that in future videos that I could do to bump this to a higher ceiling would be to add that grade 2 I talked about earlier, and also add the draw PGs and maybe add some other different types of grade 1s. But there are going to be some very interesting cards coming out soon. I believe in set 11, which is the Blue Cavalry, if I'm not mistaken. That is the prime set coming out for Aquaforce. So you will see this deck and also my Maelstrom deck getting some bumps in value and strength. Please stay tuned to that. If you like what you saw, if you like what you've been seeing, please leave a like. Please subscribe to the channel. We always use more of you guys here. And as always, peace.